All right, so we got quite a bit of stuff to cover right now. A huge movement is happening in crypto, and nobody sees it. It's hidden. It's underwater. It's covered up, and they're doing a good job of it. So I'm here to inform you. I've spent a ton of time online to gather all of this information, and a bit of it's cluttered towards the end, but that doesn't matter because we're going to get straight to the point. Okay, so we've got a new asset class, carbon trading, and so the carbon trading grew over 20% in 2020. It's fourth year of consecutive growth, crypto. Our country is responsible for 1.968 billion tons of carbon dioxide in 2020. And the XRP ledger is to become one of the first carbon-free blockchains, which the news announced today at XRP Ledger Foundation, Ripple, and EnergyWeb. That was months ago, actually. There's around 40 trillion in physical money present globally. This amount can touch a quadrillion if cryptocurrencies, broad money, M2 and M3, and investments and derivatives are added to that total, which is exactly what they're doing. And you realize 40 trillion to quadrillion is a lot of money, okay, which creates private credit for who's buying it. Well, if you go ahead and look up who's buying this carbon-free technology, it's the big banks and the big companies and big businesses. That's all the money. So they're going to be creating private credit, and it's a way for businesses to raise capital, money. They're raising money. So in private equity, an investor owns all or part of the company. So they're going to own all or part of the currency, and it's going to be split up between the banks and the very companies we buy from that buy their products from internationally. So we're going to have our Federal Reserve put all their money into a new technology to make it work for our country, which creates private credit. And so now they can lend money to everybody, and you can make, they're probably going to make our economy good. I would imagine from this, but it'll probably crash the dollar. So special lending, residential lending and direct corporate lending, it's just lending, loans, right? So private credit is an asset defined by a non-bank lending, and Ripple is actually a non-bank. If you go ahead and look it up, Ripple's a non-bank. So they're going to be holding on to 20 billion XRP for loans. Why would Ripple hold on to 20 billion XRP for loans if the whole world wasn't going to be needing loans? Okay, so we're looking at a massive hyperinflation in every country, I would imagine. The goal, I think, for them is to avoid hyperinflation and to avoid a economic collapse, because they don't want to have they don't want to poison things, right? I wouldn't want to, if I was trying to get something like this up. I would want all the money to go into quadrillion and not affect the dollar, but I don't think that's possible. I think it's basically impossible to do that. So the ISO 20022, the international standard, is not mandatory for regulatory perspective, but those that do not act now risk being excluded from international payment systems. So obviously people don't want to be excluded from this, so every country is going to be hopping on board with this technology because it's providing richer and higher quality data, which means much more detailed information about the payment is available. This means fewer errors, less manual intervention, fewer delays on the end customer, and ultimately more efficient, cost-effective, and higher quality payment systems and experience for all. Faster payments will be huge importance to businesses who risk seeing the real value of accounts receivable being eroded by inflation. So we're already talking about using this to get rid of inflation. So the payments industry may actually accelerate inflation for a while, exactly, right? Because it can boost the velocity of money. And cryptocurrency is considered property. You add more property, you are stretching money, creating inflation. Second, demand for digital wallets and other solutions that make it cheaper and easier to move money from one currency to another, to a cryptocurrency, right? Will likely surge, and surprisingly high inflation usually means surprisingly high interest rates. So we're going to see hyperinflation. Surprisingly high interest rates normally produce surprisingly large financial crises. Surprisingly large financial crises tend to generate surprisingly wild swings in currencies. So we can actually see XRP go up, our dollar go down, our dollar go up, XRP go down, our XRP go up, our dollar go down, because of what they're doing with this technology and what they're using it for. So it could really set everything off, make everything ripple, like create a ripple. That's a great way to explain it. The reserve banks serve banks, the U.S. Treasury, and the indirectly the public. A reserve bank is often called banker's bank, storing currency and coin and processing checks and electronic payments, which they're going to do CBDC currencies for us. Reserve banks also supervise commercial banks in their regions. So this is the tokenization. Within the context of blockchain technology, tokenization is the process of converting something of value into a digital token that's usable on blockchain applications. Assets tokenized on the blockchain come in two forms. Is a CBDC a cryptocurrency? No. The first thing to remember is about CBDCs is it's not a cryptocurrency, so it doesn't have to be related to anything that caters to the crypto world. A digital currency will be regulated by central authority or bank, the RBI, for example. Terminal value. This is where we get into like our asset class, right? Is the value of an asset, business, or project beyond the forecast period when the future cash flows can be estimated. Terminal value assumes a business will grow at a set growth rate forever after the forecast period. Terminal value often comprises a large percentage of the total assessed value. So we're going to see a total assessed value of our GDP, which is our gross domestic product value of the entire planet, being used in one currency, if not maybe two. And that's going to create a number. It'll have a terminal value, and we'll see the GDP of our world, So the two primary causes of hyperinflation are an increase in money supply not supported by economic growth, which would be cryptocurrency, which increases inflation, a demand pull inflation, which demand outstrips supply. We're stretching our money. We're about to. A reserve currency is a large amount of currency held by central banks and major financial institutions to use for international transactions. XRP is a reserve currency. You want to own this. You don't want to sell this. A reserve currency reduces exchange rate risk since there's no need for a country to exchange its currency for the reserve currency to do trade. This is huge, and they're not telling anybody because not everybody can know. Because if you knew, you would never sell this because the demand for it is so great. If you had the whole world holding this, the value of it would be astronomical. It would create more money than we've ever seen in our lives, and that's what they're trying to keep everybody from seeing. They don't want you to know how much money this is going to create. And it's going to be in the quadrillion. GDP, does buying a foreign currency increase money supply? When the government purchases foreign exchange reserves with domestic currency on the international market, it increases the money supply. When it sells bonds of equivalent value, it reduces the money supply. Okay, so listen. XRP is a foreign exchange, okay? Understand that they're buying into another foreign exchange currency. They're moving their reserves over. Okay, it's going to happen. The IRS consider cryptocurrency holdings to be property for tax purposes, but it doesn't change the fact that it's stretching money. A real estate transaction is a process whereby a unit of property, boom, 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 transfer between new parties. It's like money. The more real estate is created, the more mortgage loans are made, the higher the money supply goes. So there's around 40 trillion in physical money present globally. Obviously, it can touch quadrillion if M2 and M3 are in investments and derivatives are added to the total, which is exactly what they're doing with CPH. They're including making it easy for you to get in and get out. So we can look into M1 and M2. These are just the different types of monies and conversions of cash and stuff. M3 is the combined value of M2 and M1. So here's something I wrote. They could stop printing because here's the thing, minting, not printing, but XRP burns 0.00001 per transaction, and they can actually stop minting to make the value of the currency go up, what they hold be more valuable, and they could also print or mint at the same time to gain stability in the market. So we could reach an average of GDP and keep it there because we're actually minting the same amount that's being burned, actually stabilizing our currency, our new reserve currency, stabilizing it to slowly grow with how the world is operating in its growth. So we will see the world either decline or incline, right? And we'll be able to see that on screen. We'll be able to see that in a market, like such as, you know, gold or silver or any other form of a class. So currency value is determined by aggregated supply and demand. XRP, supply and demand. Supply and demand are influenced by a number of factors, including interest rates, inflation, capital flow, and money supply. The most common method to value currency is through exchange rates. So we're about to value XRP through these exchange rates, and it is a exchange of value. And so the Department of Treasury is the lead agency in U.S. international economic policy, including policies regarding the dollar. The value of the dollar is determined in foreign exchange markets. So when we move the value of our dollar in foreign exchange markets and we put it all into another foreign exchange market, we decrease the value here, increase the value here. Everybody will see gas prices go up, food prices go up, everything's price will go up. It's just cause and effect. It's going to happen. The world's gross domestic product value is 84 trillion US dollars. If we divided that by 100 billion XRP, you get $847 per XRP. But we're going to touch the quadrillions. That's nowhere near a quadrillion. Okay, we're talking a lot more money than that. So what happens when demand increases and supply decreases? Well, you're going to have an increase in equilibrium price. Equilibrium quantity cannot be detained. For quantity, consumers now place higher value on the good, and producers must have a higher price in order to supply the good. Therefore, price will increase, which is why I say hold, don't sell, because we want the price to increase. They don't want people to know about this, because if you get in early and you hold something that has so much value to it compared to US dollars and you're not willing to sell, it can only go up from there. And the dollar will maybe even keep devaluing until they come out with CBDC currencies and you no longer have your original currency, or it's a US dollar CBDC currency that's gauged off of pricing everything how they want it priced. Remember, they're making a ton of money for themselves. They can now do loans with lower interest rate. They can lower prices. College can be cheaper and jobs can pay more. We're actually talking the stretch of money will actually help us depending on how they manage this, how they work with this. Because they could actually change our economy, flip it around, and people start, nicer cars are cheaper, Porsches are cheaper, Corvettes are cheaper, because we're allowed to do that now, because we have unlocked and fixed our economy. It's not fixed right now. It's actually terrible. And we would remove our debts. We would get rid of a ton of things by doing this. And so you can only hope that these people are going to do this in our best interest, because remember, we are their money. If we don't exist, if we collapse and none of us use their stuff and none of us buy their stuff, they don't exist. So they need us. Will CBDC replace cash? This is important to understand. It's sometimes thought of as an equivalent to a digital banknote, although in some aspects it may have as much in common with bank deposits. Any UK CBDC would work alongside, not replace, cash and bank deposits. We will continue to provide cash for as long as the public still wants it. So what happens when your cash is not worth anything? Do you want it? Probably not. So says it right there, you're not going to be taking cash. CBDCs are digital assets issued on central operated ledger and pegged to the price of a country's main currency. So they peg it to the US dollar, but we would actually revalue the US dollar after it crashes. Will XRP be the CBDC? Through Ripple's native XRP token is not a CBDC. Its blockchain is designed for institutions and enterprises, making it an attractive option for governments looking to issue CBDCs. This is why they're looking so heavily at this coin and why they're doing everything that they're doing with it. First thing to remember about CBDCs is it's not a cryptocurrency, so it doesn't have to be related to anything that caters to the crypto world. Digital currency will be regulated by a central authority or bank. There you go. This is some BlackRock stuff. They own a ton of stuff in our financial system. Luna is a stable coin, kind of explains the concept of XRP as well. Hence why BlackRock scammed and crashed Luna coin, but I think he was actually in on it. I really do. And they actually knew about Bitcoin in 1996. They've been planning this for a very long time. This has been in the plans and in the makings for a long time. This is nothing new under the sun, but they want you to believe it is, like as if they have no idea what it is. No, they know what it is. They have every single idea of what they're going to do, and they know how it's going to serve them and serve us. And you're probably going to have a job where you actually get paid more now and everything's cheaper, and you are now more free. You can actually take more vacations, because remember, what we're doing is we're stretching the money, revaluing it at the bottom, and then they're holding a water tower of private credit above our faces, above our money, above our heads, that they can use to cut losses and take losses for thousands of years. Remember, we're talking a long time of sustaining an economy's existence and life by combining the whole world into one thing, one currency. So if the dollar was pegged to gold, the prices would fluctuate wildly. Not a good idea. That's why also, you're not pegging cryptocurrency to Cbdc currency, because it would fluctuate rapidly. Who runs monetary policy? The Federal Reserve Bank is in charge of monetary policy in the U.S. The Federal Reserve is commonly referred to as dual mandate to achieve maximum employment while keeping inflation in check. That means the Fed's responsibility is to balance economic growth and inflation. That's why I'm saying they're probably going to make things really cheap, and you get paid more. And so people are happier. That's what we are all asking for. Am I right? People are sick and tired of working a 9 to 5, getting paid $14 an hour, but the prices of everything keep going up. So if we fix the economy, the prices stay the same, you get paid the same amount, but the prices are cheaper. It's like going back in time. It's like taking our stuff, putting it back in time where the dollar, 10 cents would have bought you a candy bar. Now that's there again, and you can actually take time off and go vacation. You have money. You are going to develop new spending habits and new habits of what you do with your time when you're not at work, because you actually have more money to do that. So that's their job, to do this. Their job is to do this for us. So the objectives of monetary policy: high employment, economic growth, price stability, interest rate stability, stability in financial markets, and stability in foreign exchanges. So hence why XRP burns and they can mint, and we are going to watch something go stable and grow with our economy. Or if our world's economy declines, then we decline. Like, that's just the way it is. We'll find out. 9 countries are so far have fully launched Cbdc currencies. Oh man, I wish I had the PDF right here. I'll have to find it. China's digital currency, boom, boom. The ISO standard, China's already on board with that. They haven't bought in yet. They're using it, but they haven't bought in yet. That's important to understand. Instead of printing money, the central bank will issue electronic coins or accounts backed by the full faith and credit of the government. And that's exactly how it should be. But they also don't want you to know what to invest in right now, because it's really too good of an investment. Gross domestic product is a monetary measurement of the final goods and services produced in a specific time period by countries. So now we're talking that we're taking $40 trillion every 2 weeks, and we're now cutting that into every single second. We don't know what that looks like, but it's going to have a number. There's going to be a number, and it's going to be really awesome for those of you who own and know what you own and don't sell. So FedNow, this is important to know too, because everybody's countries are going to be doing this same concept of that. It's a program brought in January 2021, together influencing banking industry leaders to support development, testing, and adoption of the FedNow services, and encourage the development of services that leverage the program's functionality. How will FedNow work? Since funds will transfer and settle instantly, all payments are final and cannot be reversed. It'll be operating year-round for businesses and individuals, 24/7 round the clock. Now, important to understand, Cypherium is focused on instant payment solutions, blockchains, interoperability, and central bank digital currencies. These are the bridge. This is the bridge right here, one of the bridges. Part of Cypherium's offering will be consumers' ability to use Cypherium's digital wallet or blockchain technology as part of the FedNow service. Cypherium is very important to own, okay? Very important to own and not sell it. The FedNow service is not financial advice. This is not financial advice, okay? This is just research. This is just a ton of research. It'll enable individuals and businesses to send instant payments. We know that. So neither the federal government nor Ripple has officially confirmed that the Fed now will use Ripple's network or even blockchain technology. Ripple's global head of infrastructure innovation, Dilp Rayo, tweeted yesterday that the launch of the FedNow service was a great move. Something to understand that's very important is how we know what coin it is. Because the federal government is actually applying ISO 20022, the standard. It's a new messaging standard. And the only currencies that are in ISO 20022 are XRP and XLM. And they're not going to tell you directly, ever, heads up. They will not tell you straight to your face what it is, but I will. I'm doing the research right now, ISO 20022, and if you look it up, it even takes more to dig, because even Google won't tell you exactly what currency it is. It'll beat around the bush. Oh, these are compliant with it. They won't tell you which one it is. They'll just tell you what's compliant. That doesn't help me, right? I want to know what it is. And so we're looking at what it is right now. XRP, XLM, and CPH. 3 of the best currencies you could ever own. Reserve currencies you could ever own. And so we're looking at 2023. And this is early 2023. They'll be launching this app. And so we're going to look at this massive movement very quickly. Let's go straight to... not stake. Brain just took a dump, dude. Swift.com. We're going to go and see what they say. Okay? This is important. To make sure you're ready to go live on ISO 20022 for cross-border payments and reporting, CBPR plus, and the start of the coexistence period. The whole world, from November 2022, this year, it's important to begin your preparation for work now. Why would they say it's important to begin your preparation for work now if they weren't trying to tell us this is freaking important to everybody? That anybody not involved in ISO 20022 is going to be running on a slow operating network that takes 2 weeks that nobody's going to use anymore and nobody's going to accept anymore. They're going to be forced to switch over. So they're actually trying to do this switching over in a system where no country's left to burn and die, and that's why they're starting with specific countries. We go last, guys. Our country goes last. China goes last. Russia goes last. Germany goes. The reason why is because we have so much already. So if we were to go first, we'd leave all these countries who have nothing out, and they would be left out of this new technology that we can't actually use this for necessarily bad. They can't use this to do things wrong. They actually have to do this right, which is why I think we're going to see a huge growth in our economy after this is all said and done. More money for everybody is what that means. But dang, if you own this, oh my gosh, you're going to have the most money. That's what it is. It's more money. So you can go ahead and look at Swift's Fistra. What is it called? I can't remember the other one. You can look at it. It's a United States company that does international exchanges. They're also doing it. Like, we're talking big money here, boys. We're talking big money here. Okay? You don't ever want to sell this. Not financial advice. Not financial advice. Let's go ahead and look at some... let me slow down a little bit. I talk fast, I know. I apologize. My brain, it's hard for me to stay talking slow when my brain is working so fast and I'm trying to keep up with slow when it wants to go fast. So if I try and go slow... I end up making more mistakes. So I apologize for that. Oh yeah, this is them talking about adopting it in the same day right here. Federal Reserve Board announces the reserve banks will adopt a new message format for the Fedwire fund service and invites public comment on proposal to expedite adoption. Hey, and nobody knows. Public my ass, right? All right, so the Federal Board on Monday announced the Federal Reserve Banks will adopt the ISO 20022 message format for the Fedwire Fund Service. The change will allow for enhanced efficiency of both domestic and cross-border payments and a richer set of payment data that may help banks and other entities comply with sanctions and anti-money laundering requirements. The board also invited public comment on a revised plan for migrating the Fedwire Fund Service to the new message format. Specifically, the board is proposing that the reserve banks adopt the new message format on a single day rather than 3 separate phases as previously proposed. A single day. If you own this, it'll be adopted on a single day and it will go boom. And who knows how much money you'll make? Who knows? I couldn't tell you. I'm not going to make numbers. I don't care. All I know is this is very important to get your hands on because they all want it. They will all be using it. And the more we own, the less supply they have. So why would we not all try and own as much as we can to limit the supply and choke them? We want them to choke and us to make money, right? So the Fedwire Fund Service is a real-time gross settlement system owned and operated by the Federal Reserve banks. Okay. Cool. Guess who else is going to own this? International exchanges. Amazon. Go look it up. ISO 20022. Amazon's doing it. Walmart. All these big companies are doing this. That is huge, guys. That's huge. That's all of our money. All of it. Bing, bang, bop. Adoption goes through. Boom. Everybody that's in it is in it. If you're out of it, your dollar's worth crap. You can buy barely any of it. You're screwed. Okay. And I'm not trying to put fear in anybody because who knows? You might not be screwed. Who knows? Right. But the thing is to cover your own ass. Cover. Because you don't know. I can't really know. But what I do know is all the research I've done. That's it. That's what I know. The ISO 20022 format was developed by the International Organization for Standardization, which is an independent, non-governmental organization that pushes standards for broad ranges of industries. This is huge. This is huge, huge news, okay? Let's go ahead and look at this. Fedwire Fund Service ISO 20022 Implementation Center. This is the Federal Reserve's FBRB. This is their site, okay? In October 2017, the Federal Bank announced real-time. Look, this was in 2017, and nobody knows about this. People know about it, but they don't. Less than what? 2% of the world knows about this? Less than 2% of the world will own the very reserve currency this entire world operates off of before it goes up. That means less than 2% of the world will ever see Bitcoin returns ever again. After it happens, you'll never see a return like cryptocurrency could produce ever again. You'll literally never see it again. There will not be another technology to replace this. You can't replace instantaneous technology, instant payments. There's nothing faster than instant, right? So the only thing that can happen is this, and it can only happen once. Once it happens, it's done. Said and done. Yeah, that might shaft our economy for a while, but guess what? They can give everybody a ton of money to shut up, and there you go. Like they already have done stimulus checks for the entire planet. Everybody got stimulus checks, not just the United States of America. Everybody did. So they can go ahead and if they screw the economy over, revalue everything in Cbdc US dollar currency and just hand it all out and hold that tower of private credit, newfound money, the new asset class, carbon trading, above our heads and own the whole thing and leave everybody out. Not financial advice. I will never sell my XRP. I can't. That's just stupid. It's giving them more XRP, lowering the price. I'm not going to do that. I am going to hold because they are also going to be holding for themselves. Obviously, they're going to buy some, hold some, spend some, receive some, sell some, constant. Let's see if I can get up which one was it? No. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to check this out right here, right? Because what we're doing is we're stretching our money based on a new technology, okay? And they could literally they could actually move this technology over and not do any movement ever. But they're going to make it move. They have to. So, we're going to watch right here. Let's put some Reddit in here, okay? We're like right here, right? We should be right here where it's very equal. The money is equal with how the GDP value, the value of our products are equal to what we spend on. So our currency and everything is established, right? And that line will always stay the same, okay? It'll always stay the same. But when you stretch the money and 90% of the money is at the top, they own the median. They own it. And it's not saying that they don't own it already. It's saying that they'll own a lot more. So yeah, they'll do loans. The median of power is in their control. The high money, which is them, the Federal Reserves, the companies, will stretch our money out. we will lose our money. It'll devalue. And who knows, when they CBDC currency, they could reestablish it down here, right here. But you'll never be able to come up to replace one of these big companies after this happens. Nobody is ever going to replace these companies after this happens. They're not going to let you. So you're going to have the majority of people down here and 90% of the money at the top, where barely anybody is at. Like, you don't have very many humans up there, right? So it's not very many humans owning 90% of the money compared to how many humans are enslaved to 90% of the money. So we're taking a lot more value, a usage that has a lot more value. It's a database, it's a technology, and we are raising it, and all the high money, all the people who already own the high money are going to create a lot more high money. We're going to be stuck here. And it's created through what? The exchange market, where it starts at, let's say, a penny, and you buy it and it goes to $100. Inside here is a bunch of money created, right? There you go. You know, they could put everything back to normal for sure. Let's see what I wrote here. They're combining the Federal Reserve banks with every company, not telling anyone. Nobody gets to save their money, in other words, right? If they tell everyone, everyone can save their money. No more need for a Federal Reserve bank. Just one more bank. One bank. This is what we're talking. One bank. Everybody goes, yeah, you'll still see the Federal Reserve. It'll be there. But remember where all of its money is. In one thing. It's one bank, right? Just because it's the Federal Reserve Bank doesn't mean every other bank is involved with the same one thing, which makes it one bank that everybody is in. So we're trying to get nobody to lose here. I don't want anybody to lose. That's why I'm telling people. Otherwise, put everyone's funds inside before it takes off, right? So how they're going about to the countries and getting those countries who have less economy and getting them involved in ISO 20022 new messaging standard before it takes off is so they don't lose, right? And so if they were to do that for us, that would mean they put all our money inside of it before it takes off, which if they're the bank, they have your money, they're going to put your money in it, and you can't say jack crap about it, and your money was just spent to help them make more money for private credit to give to you while your dollar devalues, and say boo-hoo, but now you're in debt, you know, oops. So the products revalued would reflect, then distribute new technology according to the pricing, or price according to the new technology. Everyone's money fluctuates based on the GDP value and all transactions on Earth. Everyone would have to be in it before it happened. In order for us not to get shafted, we'd all have to be in it before it happened. But they're hiding it so well, guys. They're hiding it so well that I don't see that happening. I don't think they're wanting everybody in it before it happens. So that's kind of disappointing. Federal Reserve, Cypherium, the websites, Twitter, white papers, Cypherium partners, the smart contract. Cypherium is a really good one to own. Let's go through some Cypherium real quick. It's a blockchain platform for enabling faster payments for cross-platform interoperability. $30 minutes. I'm gonna have to cut it, guys. I don't want a 40-minute video. I'm gonna cut it right here. I'm gonna make another one. I'm gonna pump them out the same day. I don't care. You guys need to see this stuff, so pie head out, guys. I'll see you in the next video.